All right, good morning, traders. Today is September 5th, 2024. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB trading room. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everybody out there in digital land. Thank you for leaving a nice thumbs up. Helps me with my YouTube profile. Appreciate that. Thank you for being a member of the channel, a member of the Facebook group. Thank you for following me. I appreciate all of that. Thank you. My SPY pivot this morning is 551.50. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab 5, except for IWM, are technically in daily uptrends. IWM is bullish, even though it's still classified in a downtrend. SPY, QQQ, IWM, and FNGU all made lower lows and lower highs, closing below bearish traps below their 17 EMAs. Diamond Dow made an inside day. That would be a higher low and a lower high, closing below the bearish cross but above the 17 EMA. SPY closed with a 2-hour downtrend and a 10-minute downtrend. Gold and silver both in uptrends, both made higher highs and higher lows. Silver closed under a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. Gold closed under a bearish trap, but over the 17 EMA. UNG in an uptrend made a higher high and a higher low, closing under a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. USO in the new downtrend made a lower high and a lower low, closing under bearish trap and under the 17 EMA. US dollar index in a downtrend retraced back down to 101.31 area. All right, let's take a look at some charts. All right, for price action for today, let's take a look at the 10-minute chart. 10-minute, currently we have a 10-minute downtrend. That's price underneath the 3, and the 3 and price underneath the 8. All three of those underneath these dots, that's the 17 EMA, okay? All up underneath this regular VWAP right there. Coming into the close, yesterday we had a 10-minute uptrend. Kind of see we're leaving off just at the same spot right there. Okay, so on the 2-hour chart, still got a 2-hour downtrend. You can see here, price in the 3, underneath the 8 EMA, all 3 underneath the 17 EMA. 2-hour downtrend, 10-minute uptrend. On the daily chart, okay, daily chart, we are still technically bullish. We're in an uptrend, but we are under the 17. Okay, we became bullish when we made a higher high up here, and we took out this high right there. So we took out that high and produced a higher high. So right now we are up here, and we were challenging the all-time highs made right here back in July. And price action for yesterday, let me just reiterate, lower high, lower low, closing below the bearish trap, that's the 3 under the 8, underneath the 17 EMA, okay? Price action for today, okay? I see price coming down to this area here for the fill the gap. Notice we came down, we went up a little bit, and then we came back down at the end of the day. So I'm looking for a little more follow through for this morning, probably down to wherever the top of this tail is right there, okay? That wick up in there. So wherever the high is for that, that's 544.96. Now if we place our anchored VWAP on the all-time high, you can see that 544.96 kind of coincides with our all-time high anchored VWAP. So I think they're coming back down to tag the all-time high anchored VWAP, maybe even fill the gap completely, all right, and then maybe take out this breakup candle low. So we have a possibility of coming all the way down to 530 area, right down to this low right here. So we've got a possibility coming all the way down to right about there, all right, 537. Either today or tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Tonight we got some big earnings, so we'll see what happens. All right, so I'm looking for a target of same target as yesterday, all-time high anchored VWAP All right, still think we're coming down there. We'll see what happens. Unless the bulls can start closing candles up inside the bearish trap. Okay, so we'll see what happens with that. Again, red erases green as an entry on our 10-minute charts. Okay, you can see we now have red wiped out green right there. That would have been an entry. Red wiped out green right here. That would have been an entry right there or right there. Next entry right here. Red erases green below 549.80. Okay, so these are our entries right there, there, and there. And then the other one is right there, 549.65. Good morning, Marley. All right, so those are our red erases green on the 10-minute chart. You need a 10-minute downtrend for that to enter, okay? So you got the 10-minute downtrend, price dropping in here nicely. I think it's headed all the way back to all-time high anchored VWAP, which currently sits at 544.94. What's the high for that candle? Let's go back and look at it. 2-hour chart. All right, let's look at that 2-hour candle high. Let's just go to the daily. Okay, so that candle high was 544.96. What is the all-time high anchored VWAP? Right about there, 544.97. All right, so roughly the same target. So that's what we're looking for this morning. And then probably a bounce off of that area. Maybe even fill the full gap. All right, so there's a possibility that they don't fill the whole gap and they bounce off of this area. And we'll see what happens and come back up here and challenge yesterday's high right up there. Okay, there's a possibility for them to hit this and then bounce back up, challenge yesterday's high. If they don't make a higher high, come back down and fill the gap and go a little bit further down to the 540. That's the big fat whole round number that they might be targeting later if they fail to make the higher high after bouncing off of the all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, so here's SPY on the daily chart. All right, let's go take a look at a few other ones. Take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ, same candle like a SPY. Again, lower high, lower low, closing below bearish trap, under 17 EMA. A little bit further, more downside there. FNGU, all right, FNGU, same candle there. See, lower high, lower low, closing below the bearish trap, below the 17 EMA. Okay, QQQ. QQQ still in the uptrend until it breaks this low down here or creates a higher low and then cuts down below it. All right, that's QQQ. It's been in an uptrend since it took out this high right there. All right, if it takes out this low, it'll be in a downtrend. Either that, make a higher low and then take it out, and then that will be go down below the higher low, and that'll be a downtrend for QQQ. Okay, so QQQ down is in an uptrend, still pulling back. SPY, again, still technically in an uptrend, still pulling back. FNGU, okay, technically in an uptrend since it took out this high, still pulling back. Okay, technically uptrend, but not acting like a bull at all. Okay, so there's FNGU. Let's take a look at IWM. Okay, IWM, all right. Acting like a bull, but in a downtrend. All right, yesterday's price action, lower high, lower low, closing below, bearish trap below the 17 EMA. Okay, so there's IWM. Acting like a bull, trying to move up here, but just running into some resistance right through here. Whenever you see one of these valleys like this up overhead, it's usually going to be a target for price action. Where's my drawing tools? Let me get the drawing tools up. I don't know what happened to them. Okay, start with the lines. Yeah, whenever you get a valley like this, like that, that will typically be a target right through there. See that? They get up there and then gets pushed back down. All right, so there's IWM. Trash that out. There's IWM. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. All right, here's Diamond Dow putting in an inside day. Okay, a little bit better than the other ones. They put in lower lows. Diamond Dow put in a higher low and a lower high, closing underneath the bearish cross, but over the 17 EMA. Diamond Dow in an uptrend since it took out this high. Just remember, 3 trading days ago, they made new all-time highs. That's Diamond Dow. All right, let's take a look at our technicals. And first one we'll look at, T2122. Okay, so here's a price action for yesterday. All right, you can see we wound up at the midpoint at the close of Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we rocketed off the midpoint into the buy zone. And then from there, we made a series of lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We wound up back into the buyer's chop zone. Okay, right back at the midpoint and kind of chopping around right inside here. There's T2122. T2123 got a different story than the rest of the market. T2123 made new all-time highs yesterday. Crazy, huh? T2123 making new all-time highs, getting up over the prior all-time high, getting up over the prior all-time high and consolidating up there. Very nice. All right, like to see this 200 break through. This is the 15-minute chart. Like to see this 200 SMA break through the prior all-time high. And we have a price target for T2123 all the way up here at 637,900. All right, we'll see if they can get up there, but that's the target. And you can see here's 200 SMA rocketing through the 2 prior all-time highs. All right, like to see it bust through this one and keep going higher. We're going to need price to get up there in order for this to come up there as well. So there's 200 SMA. All right, you can see a whole lot of space between 200 SMA and the price action. We like that a lot. Let's look at the same chart on a 3-bar. Okay, again, 3 more green candle bars. Still space between 17 EMA and the price action. Opening up a whole lot more space between this rising 200 SMA and the price action. So nice work there on T2123. Let's take a look at FNGU. All right, wherever FNGU goes, pretty much jerks the market with it. All right, so because it's got the 10 of probably the most heavily weighted stocks inside the FNGU. So this is the leash, and the indices that would be QQQ and SPY are the dogs. So wherever the leash goes, pretty much going to jerk the indices with it. Price action for yesterday, you can see right here, we had a little bit of selling, found some support, came back up here, challenged the top of this base, failed to make higher highs, and now we're rolling over back down to probably challenge these lows down here. We'll see. That's FNGU caught underneath this Death Star force field of the 200 SMA on the 15-minute chart. Need to get price on top of that 200 SMA. Got to get it up there and then consolidate and hold the higher ground. What are we doing here? Okay, what do I always like to say? Need price to move up and hold the higher ground. What's price currently doing in FNGU? It's moving down and holding the lower ground. Moving down and holding the lower ground. And it's moving down again and holding the lower ground. Hate to say it, but that's what it's doing. Okay, so that's great for the bears. If you're a bull, you want it to move up. See how it moves from here? It moves up and holds the higher ground. Moves up, holds the higher ground, up, holds the higher ground, up, holds the higher ground. Okay, we're doing the exact opposite right now. We're in a downtrend. It's probably going to drag the indices with it. As long as it continues to move down and hold the lower ground, it's probably going to drag those indices right along with it. all right, which formulates my whole hypothesis to target the all-time high anchored VWAP back on SPY. And you can see why I target that on SPY, because price action for the FNGU is moving down and holding the lower ground. So I would think it would come down to here. This would be a nice target for SPY, is that all-time high anchored VWAP down at 544.97. Okay, what puts do I like? I like the 547 puts that expire Friday or Monday. Either one of those expire Friday or Monday, but those are the ones I like. It'll probably shoot down there sometime today. If not today, maybe tomorrow. We'll see what happens. All right, there's SPY. And I just did all of the technicals up there. Okay, look at a few sectors. A lot of the sectors still in uptrends, but acting like bears, just kind of pulling back. SMH, okay, took out the high, so it's in an uptrend, but pulling back. It's like a 15-day pullback here. It's a little long. Fabric's getting a little long in this flag. Okay, SMH still pulling back. They take out this low, they're in a downtrend. Okay, it's SMH, XLK, it's our technology sector. SMH was our semiconductors. XLK looking exactly like SMH. You can see moving up, took out the high. It's in an uptrend, but taking a pullback. All right, XLI. This is our industrials moving up, having a pullback. That was an all-time high for the industrials 3 days ago. Right there. They're in an uptrend. Why? They made higher highs. Here's a high. They made a higher high. They're still in the uptrend till they take out this low all the way down here. Okay, either that or produce a lower high and then take it out. XLI still in an uptrend. SMH still in an uptrend. XLK still in an uptrend. Okay, let's look at XRT. This is our retail sector. Okay, retail sector was moving up prior to these 5 days we had right here, selling off. Was moving up, okay, but technically was not in a daily uptrend, even though price was on top of the 3 and the 3 was on top of the 8 and all of it was on top of a rising 17. It still had not broken this high up here. All right, it has to make higher highs. Okay, we made lower lows. That's what placed us in a downtrend for the retail sector. Took out that low, took out that low, and that low right there. Okay, so that put us in a downtrend. Now, in order to regain that uptrend, we have to take out this high. All right, failure to take out that high. Either that or produce a higher low and then take out the last high. All right, so there's XRT right now in a downtrend, but has been acting like a bull except for these last 5 days. All right, so XRT having a pullback. Let's take a look at XLF. All right, XLF just 2 days ago made new all-time highs. Okay, took out this high, so it's back into an uptrend. When we took out this low and this low, we became in a downtrend. Now that we've taken out the high, see, it can be done. All right, you go back to XRT. All right, they still haven't taken out the high. Go back to XLF. All right, see, even though when they're severely broken, they still can recover and take out that prior high. All right, so XLF in an uptrend producing all-time highs way up here. Okay, price action moving up and holding the higher ground. We like that. There's a lot of that happening in some of our sectors. It's just not happening in FNGU. All right, if it was happening in FNGU, we'd be back on the bullish program right now. We've got low side targets. XLF, all right, moving up, holding the higher ground, still in an uptrend. All right, last one's my favorite, transports. All right, transports moving up, holding the higher ground. They were in an uptrend when they broke this high right here. It took them a long time to do it, one of the last ones to complete the action, but finally did it, broke that high, put them in an uptrend. right now, price action moving up, holding the higher ground. Again, we are set up to be bullish. We just need FNGU to participate. All right, so there's IYT. You can see price action holding the higher ground up there. All right, so let's go take a look at our economics package. All right, so, oh, look at that. Dollar's moving down. Okay, economic calendar for today. Today's Thursday. All right, what do we got here? Motor vehicle sales came out earlier this morning or sometime today. Got Challenger job cut report. That's coming out at 7:30. ADP employment report coming out at 8:15. Jobless claims 8:30. Productivity and cost 8:30. PMI composite final 9:45. ISM services index at 10 o'clock. A gas report at 10:30 and a petroleum report at 11. And a Treasury buyback results at 2 p.m. Okay, a lot of data coming out. I don't think there's a whole lot there that's going to move the market. I think the market is probably on its way to test that all-time high anchored VWAP. We'll see what it does. Who knows? Maybe things are looking good and they want to flip it around. Right now, I'm looking at SPY 549.43. So it looks like we are kind of moving in the southern direction towards my target. Tomorrow, what do we got? Employment situation, 8:30. Mr. Williams is going to speak. Mr. Walker is going to speak, but none of those are Mr. Powell. So they're mostly irrelevant when it comes to market movement. Not to say that their speeches are irrelevant. I'm just saying that Mr. Powell is typically the one to move the market. All right, so other than that, a rig count at 1 p.m., and that's it for our economics package. Let's take a look at earnings. The main event this week is Broadcom. Broadcom reports tonight after the close. They are almost $750 billion. Is that 7? Yeah, almost $750 billion. They can move the market. After, along with Broadcom, we got Samsara is going to report. And that's about it. Again, DocuSign. Again, some familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets like Broadcom. Okay, that happens tonight after the close. So watch for some volatility tonight coming into the close. All right, there'll be a lot of shifting and hedging and moving around. All right, for tomorrow. That's the 6th. All right, options expiration on this short week. We had a short week this week, only 4 days, because we had Labor Day on Monday. All right, so it's a 4-day week, 3-day weekend for a lot of us. We like that. All right, on the 6th, again, familiar names, nothing that's going to move the markets. Monday, Oracle's going to report. You can see $384 billion. They're capable of moving the markets as well. Other than that, nothing there that's going to move the markets like Oracle or Broadcom. Okay, so we'll have that next week. Broadcom tonight at after the close. All right, see if we can get Max Payne. All right. Oh, we got something today. Max Payne is 552. We're well below 552. Put the call ratio. I don't see a short squeeze coming today, at least not until after we hit that all-time high anchored VWAP. Put the call ratio is almost 1 put for every call. So a little less than 1 put for every call. That's the puts and calls that expire only today. Okay? That's not the whole market. That's just the puts and calls that are expiring today for the SPY. Okay, so Max Payne, according to the data here, says it's 552, and we're well below that. So I don't think we're going for Max Payne. I think we just left Max Payne, if you ask me. All right, let's take a look at the dollar. All right, dollar having a nice pullback. So after we hit that all-time high anchored VWAP, could see a big rip. All right. After flushing the last of the bears out, we could see a nice rip. See, the dollar is at the 2024 low down here. That's a new 2024 low right there. And also, that is a 1-year low. So that's a 12-month low and a 2024 low. And price action, you can see right here, has been making lower highs and lower lows. Another lower high and a lower low. Dollar is in a downtrend. Whenever the dollar's in a downtrend or we have a cheap dollar, our markets do well. Why? Because our goods and services are more affordable to foreign countries, right? When foreign countries don't have to fork out as much of their currency to pay us in our currency, what you get is an increase in sales in service for products and services. All right. Why? Because they're more affordable. We become more competitive globally. All right. Not just in the USA, around the globe. So it makes it more affordable for foreign countries to fork out some of their money to buy our goods and services. So there you go. All right. So there's the US dollar, still in a downtrend. Gotta love that. Again, we have the perfect storm for a robust bull rally. All we're missing right now is FNGU. Okay, I think SMH is just biding time. XLK just biding time. FNGU hitting all new all-time highs. XLI hitting new all-time highs. Retail sector up near the highs, but not nearly as high as it could go. Okay, and the transports are in an uptrend. Okay, so we have everything set up. Not to mention T2123 making new all-time highs. Okay, so we have everything here for the perfect storm for a robust rally all the way to 580, SPY 580 or SPY 600. All right, so get ready for a rip. If it happens, it'll probably be a big rip. All right, to the upside. Probably one of those exhaustion wicks way up in the sky, all right, putting an exclamation point on the end of this bull rally. We'll see what happens, okay? But we are set up for a huge rip with everything in bull form, all right? So we'll see what happens. And Broadcom could be the catalyst. We'll see, all right? All right, traders, that's it, all right? You got my marching orders. You know my target. I don't know if we're going to hit my target. We'll see. We didn't hit it yesterday. Maybe we're coming back for it today. All right. So you know what I'm looking for. Green erases red. Back at the top of those red candles that we erased. All right. So there we go. So there's a downtrend for that. All right. That's it. I'll see you guys in 45 minutes. And we'll open up the market and kick it off.